So today in this video we're gonna do face makeup. So there's gonna be another video with contour, highlight, and blush and all that at the end or later on. But I always just start with my base of my face. So each one's gonna be in sections. If there's a specific section you're looking at to help with yourself, go to that section. Don't ever worry about other sections. But here we go. So normally, I'm also going to, as I go, just kind of give some like do's and don'ts just to kind of help you clarify anything. And as always, if you have any questions about what I'm doing or like products I recommend, leave me a comment and I'd love to answer them. And my goal is to answer all of them, but I don't know if this is gonna actually, blow up or do anything like that. So, hopefully we can do something for you guys. So I just put up my hair, so I'm just gonna flip really quick. But I do my hair in just a ponytail, just because I am very big on blending and my hair is very light. So if I do any color whatsoever, it'll just seep into my hairline. It's kind of annoying. So I always start, these are dirty, I'm so sorry. But I always start with a base primer and like a hydrating primer because my skin is very sensitive, and when I put a lot of stuff on it, it'll just get all cakey. For these videos, I'm doing a full face of makeup, but for my everyday, I normally don't do face base. I normally will put some like lotion and hydrate, and then just do my eye makeup. I normally don't do a full face just because I don't like that much on my skin all the time. So we're gonna start with a little primer. I kind of let it just kind of drip on my face. Oop, there's more on that one. Ooh. And this is just gonna keep going. And then I just use my fingers and rub it all in. With it, you want to make sure that if it does sting at any point, you want to make sure that you take it off as soon as possible. Putting stuff on your skin, especially your face, should not burn. And if it has any burning, tingling, anything like that, you want to make sure that you are doing something about it and taking it off, because you don't want to just let your skin get irritated. Because then your makeup's just going to get all red and ugh. Next, I always do the Rose Glow. This just smells really good. And it's very hydrating and uplifting so that you don't feel like it's heavy and thick on your face. It really lightens up the base, if I can open it. And when I lighten up my base, my hands are so slippery from that base tape. It will, so same kind of deal, one cheek. I just do a little bit on each cheek, and then I do my forehead. Seeing that I did do that base tape already, if I ever run out of base tape, you can just use the Rose Glow as its own base. And when you do use a primer, not only does it protect your skin more, but it also will leave your makeup looking less cakey and more just kind of smooth toned over. So for foundation, a lot of times the biggest issue is people are wearing the wrong shade. They're wearing a shade that does not match their skin tone. And just genuinely, this is brand new. Oh yeah, it's like Christmas. Oh my goodness, one second. Sorry, my hands are really slippery, so I have to attempt something. That works. So a lot of times people don't always know what shade to get because, again, our skin can fluctuate and we don't always know. So I always have one that's a little bit darker in the summer because I do get some color. And then in the winter, I could just use foundation from the snow if I really wanted to because I'm so pale. But I normally will use something like the Sephora. I'm shade Claire Light 05, but you can go into any beauty store and the consultants can normally give you an idea of what you have for a skin complexion as well as what you can use that'll just better suit your face overall. So I just use like a little sponge brush. Do make sure that you do clean these and your brushes because they do accumulate bacteria and you want to make sure that they are pretty clean. Normally, some people will put it on their hand, some people will do it directly on their face, some people will do it on the sponge. I like to do it on my face just because I feel like it will not lose product on my hand or my sponge as much. So same thing as I always do, I do my cheeks. So bloop, oop, brand new bottle, we gotta pump it up. There it goes. So I'll do one cheek, oop, and then I'll do across my forehead, and then I'll do, unlike the primer, I do a little bit on my chin. And sometimes when it's a little bit extra, I'll just wipe that up with my makeup brush or my Beauty Blender. I just tap it around until it goes all the way around. When you do this, if there's times where like you don't want to do it, I can also like, I pull the edges. I try and wear as minimal, I try and wear as minimal foundation as possible, just because, I mean, I do have pretty clear complexion. If you feel like you don't have clear complexion, don't use foundation as a cover-all. You want to use a concealer on certain spots that you are worried about. You don't want to have, you know, 6 layers of foundation and make it just look like a big caked on face. That's something that I see a lot that is a big no-no, is that people will just glob foundation on, and then not only does it destroy parts of your skin and make it extremely irritated, but it will inevitably cause you to break out. Like, see that little breakout? Ugh. And always blend down to your neck. You don't necessarily have to dab it, but I just pull my jawline down. I do a very strong jawline for a female at times, and I know that some people, for me even, I'll show in like a later video, I contour that. So I'll do a lot of contouring because I have such a bare face, that when I contour, it'll help narrow down where my lines are and make them a little bit more feminine. So I know some people have a big hard time with making sure that their face does not look, I'm gonna use chapstick next, that it doesn't look fake and that it doesn't look cakey. And by doing the pulling occasionally and really setting it first and then pulling into your pores, I find that to be helpful. Some beauty people may say that, oh my gosh, that's a horrible thing to do. For me personally, it just works, so I make it work. Next, I'm gonna be using a Revolution Conceal and Define. I'm shade C1, again, ask a consultant. I have found this is $7. It is the best concealer I found, and it compares to like Tarte and all the big brands. So it works, and that's all that matters. So whenever I do concealer, I always do my foundation, and then I'll do my concealer, and then I always set it all. So I normally will go here. You want to always do the parts on your face that are the dark spots. You don't want to, again, use concealer on your whole face. And if you're going to put it on breakout spots, put a dot and then blend it out. You don't want to just like rub it, because that just irritates it even more. So I just do a little bit here. And I have a crooked nose a little bit, so that's something that I'm very self-conscious about, that I really try and contour. So again, I tap these. Since this is all localized, it doesn't have to go across my whole face. I tap it onto my eyelid as well, because that will be my eyelid primer for my eyeshadows. So I will dab that all in on my nose. I'll kind of rub my nose just because I don't want it to seep into my pores as much. And again, on there and this way. I'm sorry that I don't fast forward the video very often. I just want you to be able to hear everything and see everything step by step. I find that if you fast forward videos, I always feel like I'm missing something and that something happened that I don't get to see. So I really want to help people like see the whole thing and feel comfortable with everything. After every section of makeup that I do, before I put a powder on it all, even as I do layers of powder, I will put a MAC Fix It Prep and Prime spray on. I usually use ones with essential oils just because I love the smells and I think that they're very aromatic therapy-like. So I believe this one's the lavender scent. It smells so good. But I just will spray it in the air and then just let it fall on my face. I don't douse my face because then the makeup could potentially start like a running look. So before I put my powders on, I will just spritz this in the air and I kind of waft it, which I know looks weird. I'm so sorry. But I just kind of put that on there. And then Next, we are going to do my powder. I just realized I forgot a brush, so 1 second. Okay, I have my brushes. So I always open it and see how it kind of cakes into that corner. I shake it and so it kind of blends together like in like a flat little area, and I'll tap it back in because I don't want all that product. I want to mix it up because that product has probably been sitting up there. I want to kind of mix it up. I dab it, here I'll lift it up this way. I dab it in. Not only do I top off a little bit there, I'll then take the cap that has nothing in it and I'll just swirl my brush around in it. That just makes it so it's an even, and it also, look how much makeup just came off that would just sit on my face. So I just kind of like tap that all over my face. I will also use this again to blend out my contour later on, so that's something that will come up again, that if you have any questions about that. I just use a translucent because my skin varies so much that it's just easier to buy a translucent, and if I need to, I can contour to darken anything. And again, always make sure you go to your neck, and I always go onto my ears. I do have a lot of piercings, but whatever. And you will just go on your face like that. And if you want to, you can also use a setting spray as well again. But again, you're going to be using it in a minute with your eyeshadows. So you want to make sure you do it in little light. I feel like Jeffree Star. But yeah, so that's my base, that's my face. As you can see, I do try and blend as much as I can, and I think it came out okay. You want to watch more, just keep watching the videos in order, and I will see you soon.